then, and I didn't really even know cosplay was a thing then. I really wanted my own Halloween costume that you couldn't buy in the store. It was a Slytherin from Harry Potter. So I started, I asked my great aunt, because she has always been sewing and she's always tried to teach us little things here and there. So I asked if she would teach me how to make a costume. And then in middle school I found out about conventions, and then in grade 9, so in like, well, a little before 2005, my friend in high school was telling me about that she goes to conventions, and I was really interested in that, and I was like, whoa, people actually dress up? That's cool. Like, I kind of knew of it from Cosplay.com because I found, like, through searching make your own costume stuff, I found Cosplay.com, and then she said she'd been to Anime North, and I really was interested in going to that. So when I was 15, my first convention was Anime North. I really kind of dove headfirst into the cosplay community because shortly after I started attending cons, actually I guess it would have been 2004 that I went to Anime North, because in 2005 some people from St. Catharines decided that we were going to run our own convention because we didn't like that we had to go all the way to Toronto. So we did the Garden City Anime Festival, and I was the masquerade coordinator. So during Fan Expo of that year, I had met with Dawn McKechnie at Fan Expo, who's, if anybody knows the community, they know she is the queen of masquerades. And she actually coached me through building my own masquerade. And so through that, I met people like Amanda Irwin, who taught me about Wonderflex, and just kind of, I met Olivia through the Moonies, because I followed them on cosplay.com and used the forums and we chatted a lot. So the community kind of, in a way, came to me because I was so receptive to building my own thing through it. Actually, that's a really good question because today is my 1-year anniversary of attending events with Geek Girls. Just since joining, my scope of kind of connections has broadened so much because of these girls who have the same kind of background as me and are so multi-talented in cosplay, in prop making, in actually working in theatrical fields like I do, even like working with electronics. I've met so many cool people who introduced me there to other people, and just my networks have kind of grown, my experiences online have grown. Obviously, in a way, my popularity has grown because I have Geek Girls as an outlet to share my work, but definitely I've developed some really strong friendships. It's actually the whole growth of cosplay as a sort of mainstream sort of thing now. It's kind of affected me in a lot of ways. Some of them are very positive and some of them are very negative. Like, I get a lot of people now understanding what I do, which is amazing, that people are like, oh, you cosplay, that's so cool. You make your own costumes. Whoa, I want to start cosplaying. And people I go to university with have started going to cons now and getting involved and understanding why I'm so passionate about what I am. On the flip side, because of all this new media involvement and like mainstreaming and outside coming in and inside coming out, there's a lot of judgment and a lot of those media-enforced stereotypes being projected onto cosplayers. Like, you don't have a perfect image of what a body should be like, therefore you will never have 100,000 likes on your fan page regardless of your skill. And while cosplayers shouldn't be judged purely on their merits as a craftsperson or purely on how pretty their face is in the mind of the hive, like, we should be judged for having fun and being nice people and being part of a community, contributing to that community. And it's a little bit unfortunate to see that people who only fit that definition of pretty are the only ones who are valid, which is not true. And that's not to say that they're not just as talented, because my God, they are. But with that media intervention, it feels now like people who are not that standard, like, I'm short. and I have a kind of a baby face, so being told that I don't fit that standard is really, really overbearing in my work because I feel like I'm never good enough. I recently got to meet Yaya Han, and because I also run Cosplay for a Cure, she heard about us, and the fact that she's so behind what we're doing, really, like, Yaya is a wonderful, lovely person, and I love that she's so into what we do here, and how much she loved being in Toronto. But for favorites, my friends, Jillykins and Olivia, obviously, because we're like that, they inspire me so much, and I inspire them, and we trade, and we collaborate, and we do some really cool things together. On an international scale, I guess, like out of anyone ever, probably J Hart Design. He is trained in fashion. His craftsmanship is amazing, but he typically cosplays female characters, and you would never know what to do. And regardless of that, like, just, the attention to detail, and the fact that, like, that he goes that extra mile to make sure things are the way that they're drawn, but not in a, like, well, it's drawn like that, so I have to make it like that kind of way. This is my reference, this is my historical knowledge, this is the creative spin I'm going to bring to it, and I'm going to create something really, really beautiful and tailored, and just, I would love to own a piece of his work. Sailor and Crystal I'm loving so far. I love that they're kind of sticking true to the manga a little more. I'm really excited to see Chibi Moon. As far as I know, she'll look pretty much the same. The manga and the anime the first time around, Chibi Moon was classically, like, pretty spot on. I love that they're expanding the storyline. They're keeping the genders in the original way. They're not censoring, and it's available for everyone. The artwork, I'm still getting used to. I miss Sailor Moon's goofy faces a lot, but I really, really, really love that it's coming back, and they're doing it, like, they're taking feedback from people who grew up with it and putting that into their work. And that's, even as a cosplayer, that's a thing that, like, I like to know that my opinion's valid, and if other people give me suggestions, I put it into my work, and so that's great that Sailor Moon is doing that too. In terms of, like, its iconography, I think Sailor Moon is something that most of the generation of cosplayers now we grew up with. So the fact that it's coming back now as we're adults and we're actually able to put money into the economy, they're seeing that as an opportunity. But also they're seeing it as an opportunity to reach back out to their fans. Like, a lot of girls growing up grew up with Sailor Moon because she was a strong woman. She was ditzy, and she cried, and she failed, but she was strong, and she had her friends who supported her, and any one of us can relate to one of the Sailor Scouts. To me, it was Sailor Mercury. And just, like, the fact that all these girls of different, like, personalities can come together and be friends and work together was very inspiring for me as a little girl. And also that I can be a girl, but I can be strong. And Sailor Moon's also what got me into, like, being interested in anime and video games and comic books and ultimately cosplay. So I think, like, for me, really, when I watched the first episode of Crystal, like, I cried, because, like, I can feel it now. Like, it's very emotional for me because I grew up with that, and for being bullied and picked on and everything bad, I always had Sailor Moon, like, behind me, reminding me that, like, I'm a strong girl even if I'm different.